Two minors were involved in a crash between a vehicle and a bicycle this morning, leaving one of them with minor injuries. West Fargo police responded to the intersection of Veterans Boulevard and 36th Avenue East just before 8. Officers say that the driver of the vehicle hit a bicyclist in the crosswalk. Now, that cyclist was wearing a helmet and was taken to a hospital to be treated for those minor injuries. We know more on a crash that happened earlier this week between a bicyclist and a truck that resulted in the death of the bicyclist. North Dakota Highway Patrol says that 66-year-old Jay Holding Eagle was hit by a truck while riding his bike at the intersection of 40th Avenue South and 25th Street South. Holding Eagle, who was not wearing a helmet, died from his injuries that he sustained in that crash. Highway Patrol says that the driver of the truck, 49-year-old Bing Zhang, is not facing any charges at this time.